I started noticing that her stomach started getting a little bit, just at the bottom, a little pudge. And I'm like, huh. Like, okay. I'm like, she's gaining weight. And so I juxtaposed her younger pictures with her older pictures, right? And I was like, yeah, she didn't gain weight. She doesn't look the same. She's not as pretty as she was then. However, because she's so pretty, she's like a 9.7, right? Because she started out there, her pretty is still like 9, 8.8 type thing. She's still way up there. The thing is, she is actually doing modeling for, organizations, clothing, and all of that different stuff, even though she's gained some weight now. Because she has the clout, she's beautiful in the whole nine. Now, she may or may not have a man. I don't know. But I look at some of the things that she posts as far as the captions and all, and it's the modern female type captions. It's the who gonna check me boo, all that type. It's that type of thing. And I just sit there and shake my head like, man, would she be talking like that if she wasn't as gorgeous as she is? In this day and age, she probably would, because even the most unattractive females are still talking like they're some type of prize, right? But who knows? Then I looked at another female named Sakurana Ware. And she, when I tell you, oh my goodness, she was so bad. It was just, I used to look at her picture and I used to look at her feminazi scale, like the distance of her nose to her eyes and all that stuff. And I just used to be like, God, her face is so beautiful, right? I looked at her, fast forward down the years, all the years past, and she is now, dude, she has to be like 80, 90 more pounds than what she was. Because now she's like modeling, I don't know if it's underwear or whatever that type of, clothing is for females now. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, she probably shouldn't be modeling that because she doesn't look the same. It doesn't look, appealing. But she's also like full blown hood, dude. She's like one of those chicks who will fight somebody type thing. And I'm thinking, she's probably like that in large part because she was so pretty to where when she talked reckless to people, people just kind of let it slide. They didn't say, who you talking to, or whatever. They'd be like, come on, Ma, why you got to be like that towards me? They would switch to that mode instead of saying, who the freak you talking to type thing, because she was so god dang gorgeous, right? And I think about, they were early 20 somethings when I first ran into them. And I think both of them are now maybe in their 30s or at least 30, something like that, maybe 29, but I think they're in their 30s. And I'm looking at them and I'm just like, Sakurana, she's really fallen off as far as how she looks. No shade to anybody, I'm just being honest. Corey Raven, she's gained weight, but she's still, like, you look at her, she still has a figure. So her figure still looks kind of like how she looked when she was younger. It's almost like she just put on maybe 25, 30 pounds compared to Sakurana put on like 80 and 90 pounds. So she just has completely fallen off. The problem with this is because modern females who are this beautiful have been treated the way they've been treated their whole life, when they get to the point to where their beauty card has fallen off, they don't say, let me make any adjustments. What they say is, let the world around me make adjustments. So instead of me losing some weight, I'm going to say to the store, y'all need to have a BBW section. Instead of me losing weight, I'm going to say to the contractor, you need to make these doors bigger. Instead of me losing weight, I'm going to say to the airline, y'all need to make y'all seats bigger. And it's because they've never had to really do the work in order to get something. Now, again, everybody does some work, whether you worked at McDonald's, whatever. I'm not talking about that. About what I'm talking is the exchange primarily between males and females. Now, other stuff comes into play too. People will hand you stuff just to give it to you, but they're not handing it to you because you're just some wonderful human. They're handing it to you because humans look at other humans, and people who are pretty have pretty privilege. That's a real thing. So imagine a female who gets treated a certain way when she's younger simply because she's a female by these young cats. Then she realizes what it is that she actually is and what these males want. So she starts using that to her advantage when she gets older, and then she starts an OF or something like that. Imagine those females who are getting everything just thrown and handed at them. They're on yachts, they're getting flown out, the whole nine, right? Or as the saying goes, flued out. What makes you think that after growing up and being programmed into that life of I get everything for nothing for 30, 33 years, that they're all of a sudden going to be gung-ho to say, hold on, let me start getting myself a personality? What makes you think they're going to do that? This is why guys talk about, oh yeah, you don't want to deal with none of those 9.5s. You don't want to deal with none of those chicks that are gorgeous. You know, because you had a whole, 6 is supposed to be cute, 7 is pretty, 8 is beautiful, 9 is gorgeous. There are no 10s, of course, but you don't want to deal with the 9s. And they say because the 9s, it's a couple of different things. The 9s, first of all, have no personality because they never had to have personality. That's what normally happens. Now, it's rare cases. I know some bad chicks who have the most beautiful attitudes. You wouldn't even believe. You'd be like, no, she can't be this pretty and this be real. She has to be faking it. But I know a couple who are freaking amazing, right? So, but they normally don't have to be amazing. Not in that regard, because they're pretty, so they get whatever the freak they want to get. That's what normally happens. And so when you have somebody that pretty and they're getting older, they become who? They become the Lisa Rays and the Vivica Foxes of the world.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Put it in the comments section because comments really help push the video. Then grab yourself some merch on the way out in order to support the channel. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks, good man fam.